This is Key with Conversations with Key, where we provide opportunities for you to learn, connect, and have fun through social networking and educational events. I am super excited on today. I am going to be having a great conversation with the Executive Director of Building Relationship Power Institute, Miss Stephanie Jupiter. Tell the people hi, Stephanie, and tell the people about all the wonderful things that you're doing with this great organization.
Well, we're so happy to be here. I've been knowing Key a while, and I love her bubbly spirit. And with the Building Relationship Power Institute, we've been around maybe about 8 years or more, maybe 12. However, our main goal is we know that everyone is in a relationship. However, majority of the citizens in the world have not had a formal relationship education. So our purpose is to reduce that number.
So you said relationship education. That's kind of the first time I heard that term. Can you break it down for the people? What specifically is relationship education?
Relationship education is basically talking about the basics of relationships. What are relationships and what are they designed to do? We may get a sprinkling of information about relationships. However, we don't get the ABCs, the 1, 2, 3s, the elements of how to effectively apply ourselves in every relationship.
So with that being said, we don't get the fundamentals or the elements that are needed to be in great relationship. What do you think are the top 3 things that people need to bring to relationships? And what do you think the top 3 things that people should expect to get out of relationships?
Very good question. Now you're going a little deep. That's not the 1, 2, 3s, but we can do a little basic information on that. So the first thing we need to know is that most people have heard that relationships are designed as mirrors.
Okay.
They're designed to reflect you back to you. And that can be a little tricky.
Right.
So the first thing we do is we work to help a person see how that works. And first to appreciate it. Because a lot of times if you look at a person who is not like you want to be, you will say, oh no, that's not me. Right? That's not my reflection.
Correct.
So we tell you what to look for. So what you bring to the relationship is an open mind.
Oh, wow.
And the knowledge of what a relationship's designed and what are reflecting back to you. And what you want to get out of that is the learning experience, an opportunity to grow.
Wow, but you know what I noticed, Stephanie, is most people, when they talk about relationships, they tend to talk about romantic relationships. Even though romantic relationships are very important, besides romantic and family, give me 2 relationships that are very important that people tend not to think about or put much energy into growing and developing to make the best of them.
Well, of course, the first one that is most vital is the one with yourself.
Okay.
Because that relationship with yourself is the one that determines all other relationships. So in the basics of ABCs, 1, 2, 3s of relationship, we address that. And so we help you to see how to effectively be in a relationship with yourself. And so that when you go into other relationships, you're not hungry or starving and you come to drain a relationship and looking for things from other people that you need to get to yourself.
Wow. And touch a little bit on relationships like maybe with friends or maybe co-workers, which are very important, that I notice that a lot of times people tend to have conflicts in, but they really don't invest much development or workshops or training or education on relationships, as you said, to help people in the workplace. And why do you think that is happening?
Well, I think, like you said, people don't tend to equate relationships outside of romantic relationships. So we don't value other relationships. And so on the job, you're not going to get that much training because the resources to bring in the training to help you build relationships on the job, that's not of value to the employer in their mind. But we see it as a most important key because the most important relationships are the ones that you spend the most time with. So most of us at work 8 or 9 hours a day. So So that's an opportunity to grow yourself, to see yourself, right?
Exactly. So
Mhm.
if you had one thing that you wanted to say about relationships, that's a very important thing that you definitely want to leave the listeners with,
Mhm.
what would you tell them about relationships that you think has the most powerful impact and will make the biggest difference in their life?
Well, I'm all about, sharing. So I'd like to share one tool for people to keep in mind that will help them to sort of calm the mind so that they can begin to even see how important every relationship is. So I like this acronym I call mindful eating.
Okay.
So when we mindfully eat, we're not talking about just physical food, we're talking about soul food.
Oh, wow.
So what are we mindful of? So if we use the acronym EAT, E-A-T, the first thing we want to do is equalize.
Oh, wow.
So when we're in a relationship, no matter what it is, equalize meaning, get your emotions in check. Don't react and respond to everything as if it's coming to threaten you. So you want to equalize, calm your mind, be open to receive, to learn in that opportunity that's being presented to you.
Oh.
A. You have a question?
No, I'm
Okay.
listening. This is so
A.
wonderful.
After you equalize, what's going to happen is you're going to start appreciating
Oh, wow.
that relationship. And as you appreciate, anything you appreciate grows. Right?
Ashe.
Because my mom always say appreciation is the greatest force in the universe. So when you show appreciation, beautiful things you attract to yourself. Okay?
Wow.
So in the next EAT, we have trust. So once you equalize, appreciate, and trust comes naturally next. So what are you trusting? You trust in yourself in the relationship, you trust in whoever else in the relationship, and you're trusting the divine process and order and naturalness of things that you attract into your life.
Oh, wow. So, Stephanie, tell the wonderful people how they can find you and some different tips on what they can do to connect with themselves in the world.
To connect with themselves in the world.
And let them know how they can find you.
Okay. So online you can find us under soulschool.com, SOL school, SCHOOL.com. That is the site for the Building Relationship Power Institute and our curriculum, which is under Soul University. So soulschool.com. And you said to how they can connect with themselves
in the world. Definitely leave them with a tip on how they can connect with themselves in the world.
So to connect with yourself, you have to really want to know who you are. It's for annals of time, they always say know thyself. And if you really want to know thyself, you have to pay attention to yourself. You have to mindfully eat, just as we said. And when you do that, you naturally connect to the world and the universe. So all your resources are open when you connect with yourself and you get to know thyself.
Awesome. It was so great talking with the great Stephanie on today. Definitely go visit her website and check her out. This is your girl Key with Conversation with Key. Make sure you connect with me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, all under Conversation with Key. And I hope to see you again to have a great conversation. Bye.